Richard wears a blue hat. James wears a different hat. And I wear a hat with things on it. Ed Hammond buys a cup of coffee. James May slips on some snow.
I hate snow.
And we show a picture of Steve McQueen. I find a bicycle in a river. James annoys a dog. And Richard jumps over a dike. I talk to two old ladies. Richard makes a phone call. And James sniffs his own armpit. I use a machine. James writes on a blackboard. And Richard lobs fruit into a caravan. I talk to a man in sunglasses. James draws a square on a wall. And Richard plays with a soldier's chopper. James asks a girl for a favour.
No.
Richard listens to a man. And I polish a bishop. I do a skid. Richard steals some tyres. And James gets kicked in the face. I drive around a field. James measures a runway. And Richard lays a cable. I wear a hat. James wears a hat. And Richard is behind a low wall. I point at a thing. Richard walks through a shop. And James has some bananas. I stop for petrol. Richard wears some sunglasses. And James sees some shirts. James draws on a board. Richard waves at a man. And I run away from a table. I hold up a jar. James points at a hill. And Richard eats a sandwich. I play tennis. Richard points at a minibus. And James shakes hands with two men. Dog looks over a wall. We drive some chairs. And the Stig does a skid in a supercharged Jag. I eat a cabbage. James throws a bird out of a car. And Richard forgets the abbreviation for America.
USB.
I sit on a rock. James gets something in his eye. And Richard says, "Mommy!"
Oh, Mummy!
Richard opens a glove box. James pulls a face. And I ask an important question. Have you ever put toothpaste on your testicle? I move my eyes. Richard vandalises a road.
There you go.
And James says cow.
Cow!
Richard tests a van. I drive an old brown Porsche. And James uses a telephone.